And welcome back, ladies, gentlemen, Gungans, Judds, Kitty Moody, Coneheads, whatever you might be. It's great to be in the Empire today, and people, you're getting a 2-for-1 special in this video today. Now, don't get too excited. It's going to be two of your favorite things. We got the updated 3v3 Grand Arena rankings, and don't worry, we're going to sweeten the deal because I know you guys already love that so much. Your favorite game mode in Galaxy Heroes. We're also bringing back the Datacron spreadsheet, the best Datacrons you should be chasing after. Listen, people, you don't need the clip. I know. This is some of the most exciting stuff for you guys out there. So go easy on the like button. We all know that Datacrons and 3v3 Grand Arena, that's your favorite. Jokes aside, we gotta do it. It's been a couple months since the last time we updated our 3v3 Grand Arena guide, and it's also been a while since I kind of stayed on top of Datacron rankings, and I've been seeing an uptick in requests more since this current season of Datacrons is a little bit more confusing, a lot more possibilities. So I'm going to try to narrow it down the best I can, talk to some other people, got some suggestions on the Datacrons you guys should be chasing after. So without further ado, hopefully you guys aren't too excited. No, this video is probably going to get 5 quadrillion views and 10 bajillion likes because everyone loves this stuff that we're going to talk about today. But we got to do it anyways. People, come on over. Let's get down to business. First things first, the last time we did this 3v3 updated spreadsheet was in January 2024. So it's been about 6 months since the last time I made this video. As always, thank you guys for supporting the series here, and of course for supporting this fun little spreadsheet that I've been putting together, the ultimate Galaxy Heroes resource. Link down below if you want to go ahead and get access to this. We got a lot of stuff here. Of course, we have our 5v5 team ranking, which we updated not too long ago. We got our all characters ranking, which, you know, doesn't really mean much in Galaxy Heroes. We just updated our Omicrons not too long ago. I don't remember, honestly, if I ranked the Zetas, but we have the Zetas on there. We're going to be going over the Datacrons, of course, and if you go through all the tabs, I got a variety of guys that try to help guide you through all the, like, for example, Zeta recommendations, Omicron recommendations, and of course, we've been kind of slowly updating modding recommendations. So a lot of stuff baked in here. Link down below. I need to probably figure out how to put this in website form because when people try to Google it, they can't find it. So, you know, I don't know. Gary, do you know how to do website stuff? I don't know what the hell I'm asking you. Anyways, let's focus on the most important topic that we have for today. 3v3 Grand Arena. As I said, it's been about, 6 months. Oddly enough, we haven't really seen too much new this year in terms of new team development. Since the beginning of the year, we've really only had 3 new things. And that's pretty much right here. We have ourselves Queen Amidala, Quadme, if you want to go with that, QA, whatever the abbreviation you like, Gungans, the Jar Jar Binks, and of course, Darth Bane as well. That's kind of it. That's why we're doing a 2-for-1 special. There's not really much to elaborate on. Of course, if you go through the spreadsheet, you will see pretty much all of the 3v3 teams ranked from their offensive perspective, their defense perspective, but focusing for right now on these 3 guys. These 3 have been even though we haven't had much this year, these 3 have been very pivotal in the game, where pretty much their total ranking, when you average their offense and defense, kind of comes out the same. Where we're seeing Queen Amidala and Gungans kind of being that Malicos level of power where they're pretty good on offense, but they're also pretty darn scary on defense before you start edging yourself into that Galactic Legends section. Very good defensive teams on here. And then, of course, Darth Bane, one of the offensive powerhouse in the game, baby. Not much changes from 5v5 and 3v3. It's just probably even easier for Darth Bane. Of course, you can kind of ignore, if you want, the Grand Arena defense because you shouldn't be putting this down on defense because you can't use the rule of 2. But nonetheless, if you want to put it down on defense, that's my hypothetical score. But 99% of people are using Bane on offense. And then really the only other thing I kind of made a change, you can't really notice it, Darth Malgus, I downgraded his defensive capability a little bit from 8 to 7, but I brought his offensive capability from 6 to 7, so it kind of averages out. So there's not really all that much changing in his rank. And the other thing I made a small adjustment to was Dr. Afra. Dr. Afra, she dropped by a 0.5 score overall, so going from a 7 to a total score of 6.5, mainly kind of knocking down her Grand Arena offensive power. Not quite there as much lately, but nonetheless, still solid overall on offense. Maybe you could do some stuff on defense. And people, with that said, that's pretty much all the new stuff we have for 3v3 Grand Arena. Again, feel free to peruse it, get some ideas. This is basically the meta when it comes to Grand Arena 3v3 edition. But there's a thing that kind of throws a little, a little wrench into the plans. That's going to alter things, and that is going to be the Datacrons. So new tab on the spreadsheet after the Zetas, you will see the best Datacrons here. And this is where things kind of get a little crazy. There's technically a lot more Datacron possibilities than the ones that I even listed here in this spreadsheet. And so these are the ones I would recommend, though, especially talking with others, getting suggestions and feedback, and also just seeing what my guild is doing. This is basically what the overall thing is right here. And largely, I think most would agree, these are the must-haves that you want to get up here. And then if you scroll down a little bit more, you will see there's a section for the highly recommended. So you obviously want to go for the best Datacrons. Well, sometimes RNG is going to RNG. Even if when you're trying to shoot for those Datacrons, you might not get them. So even landing in this green category, these are still highly recommended. You're going to want to build those up. And then I have one more section. These are very good. You probably want to get a couple of these, but you probably should focus on the green and the yellows. But of course, if you're seeing you're kind of getting bad rolls of RNGs, or maybe you're going hard on Datacrons this season, here's basically the bonus category of stuff to look for. But again, there's a lot of Datacrons out there, a lot of possibilities. That's one of the upsides of Datacrons. It's going to mix things up, but the downside as well, it is a gambling paradise trying to get what you want. Even myself, we're already locked in for this grand arena, and I feel like I maybe only got like 2 of these Datacrons I'm looking for. You're going to get a mix and match of all that stuff. And if you go kind of further down on the list here, to try to help you out when you're building some of these Datacrons, we have the focus priority here. Again, this is even what my guild is telling people, like, focus on these things, because right now this season's kind of weird. It's easy to get caught into all the crazy randomness of this. But as you see, we're going from left to right. The left one is the most important thing to focus on. Then, for example, let's look at, for example, Leia. Leia Stormtrooper Han is a Datacron that everyone's trying to chase after. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to get it yet. Datacrons are Datacrons, right? But you want to focus on that level 9, then the level 6, and trying to get the stats. And right now, the level 3 is kind of bugged. So if you have a light side level 9, you can't technically get just light side level 3s. You can possibly get dark side. So I'm not sure if that's intended. It's buggy, but nonetheless, again, kind of hard to get the right levels that you want. But again, I help you focus on what priority you should be focusing on all those different things. But just kind of going through some of these real quick. The must-haves that we're looking for, as I said, you want to get that Galactic Legend Leia, that Stormtrooper Han, tons of buffs on using their basic ability, the tank one with the giant paragraph of stuff going on, and of course, the Stormtrooper Han level 9 with the giant paragraph on it. You can't miss it. Usually in this game, I'm going to give you a word of thumb. 2 rules. More speed equals more better. Keep it simple. And number 2, in looking at Datacrons, more words equals more better. See, look at that. I taught you 98% of what you need to know about Galaxy of Heroes. Master Luke, same drill. Basics, getting lots of buffs on those basics. Or on the level 6, you got 2 options here. Tank with a big paragraph, or, obviously that's going to benefit mostly Master Luke, but if you can't get that, if you're landing with the attacker, still pretty good, because you're likely using things like Jedi Knight Cal, Jedi Knight Revan, Jedi Knight Luke, maybe Jedi Knight Skywalker, other attackers. Getting the attacker big paragraph is also better, but what's kind of important is kind of getting as much protection as possible, and that's kind of what you're seeing here with the focus priority. You want to try to get as much protection, then focus on the level 6, then focus on the level 3. See, does that make sense? Hopefully it does. Star Killer, I'm hoping Star Killer's back on the menu, boys and gals, because Star Killer's been a little wishy-washy with the past couple Datacron sets. This season's looking pretty good. You got a lot of options for that level 3. For the dark side, you want to get maybe the special or the equals turn meter. The basics give you speed up. You want to get that big attacker paragraph, which lets Star Killer attack multiple times. Doesn't really matter what the level 9 is. And then, of course, trying to focus on some stats. And as you can see here again, try to focus on the level 6 stats, level 3. That's kind of what you're looking for. In all honesty, I'm going to say this. Generally, if you can, if you have the rerolls, yeah, get the stats. But I think I would kind of maybe focus more on the abilities themselves. So like the level 6, obviously very important, but the level 3, the ability might be important too. So again, we're kind of splitting hairs at that point. But nonetheless, if you can, sometimes rolling for the stats, especially for things like Master Luke, it's kind of a big deal. Afra, I know we downgraded Afra a little bit in her vanilla power, but I think with this current set, she's going to have some possibilities with the Trip Datacron, but more importantly, that support big paragraph right there to help reduce cooldowns more often, or potentially, no, that's the wrong one. The one what lets her team basically jack up their damage based off the debuffs that are being applied. And again, more words equals more better. You got options for that level 3, get the turn meter, or to get the speed up here. Trip, doesn't really matter what level 9 you get. And as you can see here, again, level 9, level 6s are what you want to try to focus on with that particular one. Wat Tambor, mostly going to be beneficial for Admiral Trench now that his Datacron went to the wayside. Turn meter on that special ability. Level 3 is the way to go. Support. More words equals more better. Get the big paragraph. And the Wattam board, there's a couple of weird ones. You want to get the one that lets him get a bonus turn. Vander Chewbacca is looking like it could be very interesting here. He's a tank. You can get the level 9, which does a lot more based on how much relic he has in his stats as well. So Vander Chewbacca might be interesting. We're also going to see a lot of possibilities of healers reducing cooldowns. They kind of flip healer and support sometimes. My bad. But nonetheless, getting Bear Sofie, her level 9, the healer is going to be huge. Gar Saxon's looking really sexy for Mandalorian. So make sure you get that big tank paragraph as well as the Gar Saxon assist damage that you have there. And then you might want to pick up a couple generic support attacker things. And of course, Wampa as well, if you care about Grand Arena, which I think you should. Wampa's looking pretty good for Grand Arena. But then again, as you said, we have other stuff that we have going on here. Sith Eternals looking really good. Jabba, Veer's Imperial Troopers. We have Bosk, Ewok Elder, Sabine, Malgus. I actually almost think Malgus should maybe be a must-have potentially, especially with the tank revive in that level 3. Looks pretty good. General Grievous, his Datacrons going to have stat, but still ways of making him very good with that attacker bonus, maybe getting some health on the stats. Cup, I made a video on Cup the other day. It's looking pretty good of Queen Amidala and maybe some other ways of plugging him in. It's mostly that level 6, that support paragraph that's looking pretty good. And then of course, Lord Vader, people are looking at, for example, the speed up on the basic, the damage over time is equaling protection up, but I highly would recommend not putting Lord Vader on defense with the protection up because Boba Fett is going to get some big damage on him by getting the buff dispel on those protection ups. Jedi Council looking really good, Nest. And of course, we got Iden right there. So again, as I said, there's a lot of options Datacrons. I do believe consulting with others, seeing what my guild is doing, kind of throwing a little bit of my own suggestions in here. These are the ones you're going to want to focus on. If you could try to fine tune it. Again, don't be, I know, I don't want to start opening up the wound of Datacrons. Don't get too discouraged if you're not getting what you want. Chances are, as you're leveling up Datacrons, you're going to land somewhere in here. And hopefully somewhere in here, you got the characters and you got the teams that kind of really benefit from this particular Datacron set. It's kind of a wild set here, and I feel like I'm having the most difficult time right now getting exactly what I want. I hate that they have like 2 Wattam boards and 2 Wampas. They know there's only one that's good. Don't get me started on the RNG, the upgrading process of Datacrons. I'm gonna give you guys one more resource. This isn't anything new. As I have Datacron suggestions here, we also talked about briefly our 3v3 updated rankings here. As always, if you need more suggestions here, Gary, what the heck are you doing, bro? No, just go ahead and open up the thing. Yeah. We have swh.gg, link down below, one of the most, if not the most important resource in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Season 53 is our last 3-tier Grand Arena. If you need to find counters to teams that you're fighting, click on the counters icon right there. And of course, you're going to be able to see, for example, the raid counters. But if you get the premium version, the premium version, you'll be able to fine tune it a bit more because as you can see, you can't really see what Datacrons were used, or maybe you want to fine tune by adding specific units. But as you see here, you can try to narrow it down a little bit. But if you go for the premium version, you can try to fine tune it even more, but you got to sign up for the premium version. But overall, I'd say you get 85% of what you're looking for just by looking at the actual squad counters for 3v3. Boom, look at that. So leave the links down below, people. We got the resources to kind of navigate your way through this 3v3 Grand Arena that we're entering, and of course those Datacrons. So hopefully you guys find it helpful. I know now Datacrons aren't everyone's cup of tea, but at the end of the day, if it helps at least one person out, I'm a happy man right there. So leave that like, comment down below. Hopefully this video did make you too excited for your favorite topic of Datacrons and 3v3 Grand Arena. And I'll be seeing you guys inside that Coliseum for the first live stream. So be ready to get on top of your A game, and more importantly, have a good time, because around these parts, you always like to say how it's great to be in the Empire today.
Oh, it's great to be